I'm willing to die for my family, and I'm willing to kill for my family.
Did you know that many thieves end up seriously regretting their decisions when they target the wrong person? It happens more often than you think, and the outcomes can be quite surprising.
Chases a burglary suspect out of his home with a frying pan.
Luckily, some individuals know exactly how to handle these situations, and let me tell you, they handle them well. Today I've got the top 20 stories of thieves who messed with the wrong person and paid the price. So buckle up and let's dive in. 1. A woman uses a firearm against intruders. In 2016, a lady in Georgia turned into a real-life action hero during a home invasion. The Gwinnett County Police Department released some wild surveillance footage. It showed 3 bad guys literally kicking down a door and busting into a place in Gwinnett County on September 16th. The cops were on the hunt for the 2 dudes who managed to escape, labeling them armed and extremely dangerous. This whole crazy scene went down around 4 a.m. A brave woman who owned a local restaurant and was staying there because it was close to her job called the cops. The video was something else. You could see her sprinting into the frame and popping shots at one intruder while another scrambled past. The guy who didn't make it, that was Antonio Leaks, 28, from Atlanta. The other 2, still on the loose, were described as black males, around 6 feet tall, skinny, with some facial hair, both in their 20s. Robbery seemed to be their game. Gwinnett County Police were all over this and were asking anyone who knew something to step up and help keep the streets safe. 2. Man sets out trap. For Amazon package thief gets him arrested. Carlos Mejia set a genius trap when he was tired of Porch pirates swiping goodies from his block, including a cool $1,500 jacket. The bait, a package stuffed with old French fries, used puppy pads, and yep, you guessed it, dog poop. When a dude fell for the setup, Mejia was ready, baseball bat in hand. This action-packed showdown got caught on camera, and you bet it went viral. Mejia, steaming but in control, held the thief down until the cops showed up. Enter the bad guy, Victor Stazone, who was nabbed for stealing and trespassing. The cops threw in a word of caution. Mixing it up with criminals can get dicey, especially if they're packing heat. Lucky for everyone, no one got hurt this time. Mejia hoped this viral video would put a dent in the theft game, warning potential thieves that others might not hold back next time. With 90,000 packages going missing in NYC daily, Mejia's smackdown shone a spotlight on the real-deal frustration and risks folks faced daily. Watch out, thieves. You might just get more than you bargained for. 3. Masked man gets attacked while trying to carjack undercover police officers with a firearm. Things got heated up in Louisville on June 19th, 2023. At exactly 1:32 p.m., the scene was set for a showdown you'd only expect in a thriller. 2 undercover cops from LMPD's fugitive unit were just chilling in their ride, on the prowl for a suspect. But here's where it got wild. Enter our masked villain, firearm in hand, thinking he was about to pull off the heist of the century. He swung open the driver's side door and pointed his weapon right at Officer Hayden, but he didn't know who he was messing with. Officer Hayden, cool as a cucumber, didn't blink an eye before he let loose a barrage of bullets from his service weapon. Bang, bang, bang! Down went the masked man, Mark Jaggers Jr., just 21, his firearm hitting the pavement as he fell. Quickly on the draw, Hayden secured the scene and called in the cavalry. The officers jumped into action, trying to save Jaggers. EMS rolled up, and off Jaggers went to the University of Louisville Hospital, but it was curtains for him. He was pronounced gone. Now, Mark Jaggers Sr., the fallen guy's dad, threw in a twist, claiming his son mistook the cop car for an abandoned ride. Not trying to jack it, just bad judgment, he said. Illegal? Sure, but worth a bullet? Hardly, said Dad. Meanwhile, Officer Hayden, a decade on the force and still standing strong, didn't even get a scratch. And guess what? The real suspect, Rex Wright Jr., 23, probably spooked by the shootout, turned himself in later. He was wanted for another shoot-up that wasn't even fatal. 4. Homeowner attacks suspects during attempted Auburn break-in. This Auburn home almost became a crime scene on October 19th, 2023. 3 masked wannabes strutted up to the place, shouting they were the cops, and tried to bust in the front door. The homeowner wasn't having any of it. No, he whipped out his piece and let off about 6 shots right through that door. Those cowards didn't stick around to see what was next. They booked it fast blast, but not without one of them firing back. Total chaos, but luckily no one got hit, although a couple of nearby houses caught some stray bullets. The cops scooped up a black cell phone right outside. That little gadget sang like a canary, leading them straight to a 31-year-old guy from Tacoma. Busted on Wednesday evening, this dude was now facing a courtroom throwdown with charges piled high. First-degree attempted robbery, first-degree assault, and first-degree unlawful possession of a firearm. The judge wasn't playing, slapped him with a $1 million bail. Turns out this wasn't just a random act. These perps had been targeting Asian families, thinking they had an easy score. Well, they thought wrong. Auburn police were still on the hunt for the other two suspects, but let's just say this homeowner sent a clear message. Try to break in, and you're getting more than you bargained for. 5. Man attacks would be burglars posing as maintenance workers. On a fine Saturday evening, Aaron Contreras showed up at Ethan Rodriguez's door, all decked out like he was some maintenance guy. But Ethan was sharp. Using his nifty doorbell app, he told the guy, "Nice try, but no one's home." But wait, it got better. Contreras wasn't taking no for an answer. He came back, this time packing heat and with a masked buddy ready to kick in the door. But Ethan, he was already one step ahead. From behind the door, Ethan let loose. Bam, 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 firing 13 shots right through it. Contreras and his masked sidekick hightailed it out of there faster than you could say. Texas justice, only getting off 2 shots in the panic. Now, the aftermath? Ethan's door looked like Swiss cheese. 13 bullet holes going out, 2 coming in. And Ethan? He was relieved his wife and baby weren't home to see the mess. Contreras got nabbed by the Dallas police and charged with everything but the kitchen sink. Aggravated assault, deadly conduct, you name it. And get this, he was held on a whopping $150,000 bond. As for Ethan, he had zero love for these thugs, especially ticked off that Contreras didn't even bother to mask up. And that second mystery man? Still on the loose, but surely thinking twice about messing with the wrong Texan again. 6. Homeowner sets up booby trap for Porch pirates stealing packages. Jerem Barrow from Washington was totally fed up with thieves swiping packages off his porch. So what did he do? He cooked up a little surprise that would make any sneaky bandit think twice. Barrow, the master of porch pranks, started blasting his YouTube channel with clips of folks trying to make off with his goods. But here's the kicker. He rigged a fake package with a 12-gauge blank shell. That's right, all the bang, but none of the bite. A shady black car rolled up and out and popped a woman, thinking she'd hit the jackpot. She crept up to the porch, laid her hands on the box, and bam! The shell went off. Flash and a loud bang. The woman, she bolted like a bat out of hell back to her car and peeled out faster than you could say busted. Barrow was no stranger to trouble, with a history of drive-bys, police chases, and car crashes decorating his block. But with his booming box of tricks, he was sending a clear message. Mess with his porch, and you're in for a shock. This wasn't just defense, it was porch justice. Barrow style. 7. A woman strikes home intruders. This woman jolted awake in the middle of the night. Bang! Intruders in the house. It was like a scene from a thriller happening in the dead of night around 3 o'clock. Now this wasn't just any lady. When she heard the commotion, she didn't just hide under the covers. No, sir! She grabbed her firearm and went to check things out. Like, who does that? This woman did! She found these 2 goons in her house on Brahms Avenue, Para Park, right there in the hallway, coming right at her. She told them to stop, but these knuckleheads kept coming. So what did she do? She fired 2 shots at them. Bam, bam, just like that. The dudes bolted out, but they snagged her purse on the way out. Yeah, they got some cash and her bank cards. No one got hurt, and the cops haven't captured anyone yet. But man, what a night for that lady. She sure showed them you don't mess with someone's home in Port Elizabeth. 8. Homeowner shoots at 3 home invasion suspects. Down in sunny Florida, things got real hot, real quick, at one Pensacola pad. On the night of July 7th, 2022, 3 bold bad guys made their play. One dude stayed outside, weapon in hand, while his buddies busted through the door, shoving the homeowner right inside his own place. What they didn't count on? Our man was packing more than just a welcome mat. Sure, one of the thugs grabbed the first firearm that dropped, but our homeowner wasn't out of surprises. He snagged another piece and started blasting. As bullets flew, those wannabe robbers didn't stick around. They hightailed it back to their ride, smashing into a neighbor's mailbox in their sloppy escape. Now the law had two of these jokers, DeTorrance Hackworth and Antonio Dwayne Dean Jr., cuffed and stuffed on some heavy charges. But Joseph Roman Sanders was still out there, and there was a mystery man who had the cops scratching their heads. 9. LA homeowner challenges armed robbers. This guy was just minding his own business, drinking in one hand, putting his keys in the other, and strolling up to his front door when bam, out of nowhere, a masked goon sneaked up behind him, pressing a firearm into his back and demanding cash. But hold up, it wasn't going to go down like that. Not today, not ever. Our guy, barely flinching, got into a quick tussle. So much for that drink, right? And just like that, the would-be robber's plans went flying along with the beverage as his accomplice showed up, thinking he was about to jump into the fray. Well, surprise. Our homeowner whipped out his own piece and let off a whopping 6 rounds, sending those attackers booking it. Yeah, one punk started blasting back before diving into a getaway car, while the other hightailed it on foot. This fearless homeowner, a legally armed dad, was all about protecting his wife and kid inside. He said nothing in his house is worth dying for, but don't mess with his family because he is ready to lay it all on the line for them. Now that's what you call a protective Papa Bear. 10. Chicago homeowner fights off would-be burglar with frying pan. Around the thrilling hour of 3 p.m., Jason Williams got a ping from his security app. Burglar alert. What did he do? He didn't just wait around. He grabbed the first weapon he found, a trusty frying pan. Talk about improv. Williams was ready to turn up the heat as the clueless intruder came tumbling down the stairs. Without missing a beat, he chased the guy right out of his house, swinging that pan like it was out of a cartoon. Caught on camera, the burglar sprinted through the front yard with Williams hot on his trail, delivering a solid whack that would leave more than just a dent in the pan. The cops showed up, and Mr. Sneaky Pants didn't get far before giving up. Meanwhile, Williams was all over social media, posting pics of the burglar eating pavement and that heroic, now dented frying pan. Despite his wife's worry, Williams cracked jokes about needing a new pan for his seafood dinner, definitely not the one that just served up justice. With over 3,400 burglaries that past year in Chicago, Williams sure sent a message. Try to stir up trouble in his house and you'll get served. As for the burglar, let's just say he left with a headache, courtesy of Williams' skillet skills. Now that's what you call a frying pan takedown. 11. Man nearly hit by thieves targeting his truck. Eric Smith experienced a real-life action scene right in his driveway. His doorbell cam caught the whole thing down in South Hill, Washington, near Tacoma. On March 3rd, 2024, his Ring app buzzed him. His place had shady business. So Eric headed out and found a guy rummaging through his truck. The thief made a run for it, sprinting towards a getaway car. Eric wasn't having any of that. He grabbed the guy, dragging him right to the ground. Just then, the getaway driver went full Hollywood stunt, plowing right into Eric. Like some kind of action hero, Eric managed to ride the hood, then landed on his feet, even as the car smashed into his parked truck before peeling out. And yes, Eric snapped a blurry shot of the car as it sped off. The cops said this pic was gold for their hunt. It could have been way worse, though. Eric admitted he was lucky not to end up in the hospital, or worse. Deputy Carly Capetto chimed in too. She was from the Pierce County Sheriff's Department and mentioned they nabbed someone they thought was involved. She highlighted this crazy uptick in car thefts, especially by the younger crowd. Deputy Carly's advice? Leave the takedowns to the pros, folks. It's too risky playing hero. 12. Burglary suspected thwarted by firearm-toting homeowner. In McAllen, homeowners got a real jolt when a guy tried to sneak into their place. Big mistake, buddy. At first, Paula Tucker mistook him for a delivery guy, but her instincts screamed, "Something's fishy here." Cue the surveillance cam rolling as this guy strolled up to the porch and swung the door wide open. Surprise! Homeowner Shelby Tucker was there, packing heat and not in the mood for visitors. Shelby gave the would-be intruder the lowdown. "Wrong house, man. Time to hit the road." But the wide-eyed intruder claimed he just needed a cell phone charger. Shelby wasn't buying it, telling him he was way off base and to beat it through the bushes and flowers. While this drama unfolded, Shelby's wife dialed 911 and the guy bolted into the woods. The cops nabbed him later on Highway 459, only in his blue undies and waving a firearm around, no less. Shelby still shook his head over this guy's nerves, just barging in. The Tuckers, who used to leave their door unlocked, weren't taking chances anymore. Locks on, no exceptions. As for Mr. Bold and Brazen, he was off to the hospital and then faced the music with some serious charges. 13. Phoenix homeowner strikes back at robbery suspects breaking into home. It was a chill evening in August 2021 when 4 jokers decided to bust down a front door. Little did they know they were on candid camera, and the homeowner, well, he was locked and loaded thanks to his motion sensors warning. Just as these guys got the door open, they got one sharp shot and tripped over themselves to get out. These clowns didn't see it coming. And yeah, they scrammed in some grey car, still on the loose. The Phoenix police were all over this, even dropping the video and asking for tips. Whoever said your home is your castle sure knew what they were talking about. 14. Cab robbery gets interrupted by police. Deputy Terry Ely from Pennsylvania turned out to be a real hero. Right place, right time, and all that jazz. Eli was chilling in his cruiser, right? Behind this cab at a traffic light in Reading, Pennsylvania. The light went green, then red, and that cab didn't budge an inch. Something seems fishy, right? Eli sensed trouble and rolled up to check things out. Inside the cab, it was all going down. There was this young punk, a firearm pointed right at the driver, Ralph Valletta, who was trying to make a buck driving his taxi. The thug was barking for cash, and Valletta was pleading for his life. High stakes. But Eli, quick on the draw, he flipped on his cruiser lights, stepped up like a boss, and got that firearm-wielding kid to drop out of the cab with his hands up. Turns out this so-called tough guy, 18-year-old Victor Herrera, was packing nothing more than a pellet firearm. Still scary stuff. Herrera got cuffed and stuffed, facing charges from robbery to making terroristic threats, and they slapped him with a $100,000 bail. Meanwhile, Valletta was shaking but unscathed, all thanks to Ely's sharp eye and quick reflexes. After the dust settled, Valletta couldn't thank Ely enough, calling him a godsend as he wrapped him in a big old thank you hug. That's community, folks. Watch out for each other and maybe be a hero in your own tale. 15. Man runs for his life at a gas station. North Carolina witnessed a real Wild West showdown at a local gas station, and believe it or not, it was all caught on tape. A dude stepped out of his ride, long firearm not so discreetly tucked into his pants, heading towards the store. But out of nowhere, the windows started shattering. This guy, not missing a beat, whipped out his firearm and fired right back. More folks jumped out of the car, firearms blazing in all directions, while one scaredy cat booked it out of there. Amidst all this chaos, there was this one customer who just wanted some snacks, but ended up ducking and weaving, trying to make a mad dash back to his car. Henderson's finest were on it, reporting this crazy bullet exchange. But guess what? Only one guy got a souvenir, a bullet to the foot. Now that's what you call lucky or not, depending on how you look at it. The cops were digging deeper, but 3 of these wannabe gangsters had already turned themselves in. 16. Driver begs for his life after passenger pulls out firearm. A regular day turned into a nightmare for one brave taxi driver. The scene kicked off with the driver just doing his job, picking up a guy named James in North Lauderdale. Business as usual, right? But hold up, things got real spicy real fast. James, the passenger from who knows where, wasn't having any of the usual taxi rules. When the driver, just doing his job, mentioned that the fare needed to be paid up front, James flipped his lid. The vibe went from 0 to 100. Irate was an understatement. Trying to keep it cool, the driver suggested that James step out and wait for another ride. But nope, James wasn't budging. That was when things took a turn for the downright terrifying. The driver, poor guy, claimed James pulled a firearm on him. Now the cab had a security camera, but it didn't catch any firearm in action. Still, the driver wasn't taking chances, pleading for his life, making it clear they were on candid camera. In a panic, trying to follow James's wild demands, the driver accidentally backed right into another vehicle. Chaos, right? Finally, James bailed, and the shaken driver hit the gas, leaving the scene and this crazy episode behind him. 17. Homeowner catches robbers breaking into home on live video. 2 wannabe thieves decided to bust through the backdoor glass of Damien Gerard's place, not knowing they were kicking off a high-tech showdown. They smashed the glass, and boom. The surveillance system was on them like a spotlight, pinging an alert straight to Gerard's screen. The guy was a graphic designer. Just 5 minutes from the action, watching this live drama unfold while at work. In a moment of unexpected betrayal, Gerard's dog took a treat from these intruders to keep it cool and quiet. But Gerard, he was on the phone with 911, faster than you could say, busted, giving play-by-play updates as these clowns rummaged through his house. Cops swooped in quick, firearms ready, catching one of these jokers upstairs. The other guy, he tried to make a great escape by jumping out a window, only to get snagged a few blocks down as he made a run. And who were our misguided heroes? Jay Birch, 29, and Brian Chandonnet, 28, were slapped with breaking and entering charges. Gerard was left shaking his head at their boldness and utter disrespect for his space. 18, Home Invader poses as candy seller. This guy in Stockton, California thought he had a slick plan, posing as a candy seller going door to door. But when one homeowner cracked the door to snag some sweets, bam! 3 guys burst in, sending the lady inside into a scream fest. The so-called candy man? He booked it fast. A sharp neighbor's cam had caught this trickster trying the same stunt just a bit earlier. The homeowner had peeped the guy's jittery vibes, fidgeting, scanning around. No way they were opening up. Down in Oklahoma, another wild scene unfolded. 2 guys had rocked up pretending to be maintenance workers. One was packing heat, the other armed with a taser. They stormed in as soon as the door swung open, overpowering the homeowner. Forced to hit the floor with a firearm aimed right at him, the homeowner felt the heat. Amid a scuffle, that taser zapped and the faux workers split, snagging the homeowner's phone and keys. Talk about a double dose of daring home invasions. 19. Houston home invasion turns into a chaotic scene. 4 armed bandits busted into an apartment, firearms blazing in the dead of night. It was midnight, and this homeowner was sleeping. Bam! His door got kicked in. This Houston hero wasn't having it. He grabbed his trusty weapon. Yeah, it was go time. These so-called police invaders, more like thieves in a cop's disguise. But our guy knew better and wasn't about to roll out the welcome mat. Cue the Ring camera's starring moment. It caught these bad boys inside, all geared up and nowhere to hide. What came next? A firefight right there in the living room. Bullets flying, walls catching more holes than Swiss cheese. But get this, our homeowner, cool as ever, not a scratch on him. Those bullet-spewing party crashers, they booked it and disappeared into the night, leaving a trail of mayhem but no hits. Yeah, they came armed to the teeth, one with a rifle no less, but left with tails between their legs. 20. Booby trap scares off car burglar. This Louisiana guy wasn't messing around when it came to protecting his truck. Tired of thieves thinking they could just walk away with his ride, he got creative, rigging a flashbang grenade to give any would-be thief the shock of their life. A thief sneaked up, thinking it was his lucky day. But oh boy, was he wrong. The moment he tried to make a move, a blinding flash and a deafening boom sent him sprinting faster than a scared cat. That truck? Yeah, it wasn't going anywhere but staying where it was supposed to. But hold up, not everyone applauded this explosive defense strategy. The cops, they weren't fans. They called it a potentially illegal move. But our guy, he was fed up with the break-ins and the lack of action to stop them. With his truck often loaded with firearms and goodies, he felt this was his last resort to ward off the thieves. And let's say he wasn't just sitting there taking it. He called out the big shots in town for not keeping a lid on crime. With thieves getting a slap on the wrist and bouncing right back to the streets, he hoped his flashy scare tactic would make them think twice. He didn't want to hurt anyone. He just wanted to keep what was his. Here's hoping his bang-up job got some real attention. And maybe, just maybe, the police would see it as a bold move to guard against the baddies without going lethal. Would you expect people to let thieves get away with their crimes? In this world, I think these thieves got exactly what they deserved. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, hit the like and subscribe buttons because this channel is all about sharing the most fascinating stories. Thank you for watching. See you next time.